Well, hello there, friends. This video series that we'll be doing every week is a group coaching call. We'll be adding in questions and working with some of the more topics that we see many of you deal with over time and answering in more of a group, more off the cuff kind of format. A little less recorded, a little less edited, and just a straight, hey, here's how I would answer that question or talk about a topic in mass that more than just one of you are dealing with. Today we are talking about the fluctuations in weight and what that is, which should be a fun topic. But let's dive into her. So whenever we hop on the scale, there's always a little bit of an ebb and flow where one day you weigh more, next day you weigh less, and it's a very hard thing for people to interpret. Now, when we look at weight, this shouldn't sound too unfamiliar if you've been working with me for more than a couple months, but the scale will always fluctuate. You'll always see about a 1 to 2% variation from what you weigh. So if you weigh 200 pounds, just to make our lives nice and easy, you'll see yourself any day, you might weigh 198, 196. You might see yourself weigh 202, 204. And it doesn't mean that you have lost weight, gained weight. It's more your body's adapting back and forth in the amount of water it has on you, the amount of food bloat, undigested food that we haven't passed. This is always kind of fluctuating from our state of recovery to stress to the foods we're eating to how inflamed we are. There's a million things that go into those deviations day by day, and they're impossible for you to really do anything about. It's not that you're doing anything wrong or right. It's just your body's doing its natural thing and not something for us to stress about. What we're going to look at here is one of our clients that we've been working with for we'll say 3.5 years. I believe somewhere around there. And she's down almost 100 pounds, or she is down 100 pounds. And she produces a really good case study for us to take a look at this, because we get to zoom out for not just a couple months worth of effort or 20 pounds worth of weight loss. We get to look at a much bigger scope. Now, when we look at something like this, our weigh-ins, we see a lot of these ups and downs that are happening here, and it kind of just looks like she spent a whole month and didn't really lose any weight, which this month she's not really trying to lose weight. She has her wedding, it's a whole thing, but this whole month kind of looks like we're not really going anywhere. And this person, while you're in the thick of it, can be very hard. It can be a very challenging emotional thing because you feel like you're working so hard and you're not seeing progress. But when we zoom back out a little further, we start to see that there is a trend line, that when she walked in at the 166, 167, there's this little flow down. Went on vacation, holiday parties, it was a whole thing. It was like 4 or 5 days. It's all right. But there's this ebb and flow of it kind of taking down. And then we zoom out further. And again, we start to see more of a defined line for weight loss. We go out even further then. And again, we start seeing a more aggressive, very clear line of the amount of weight she's losing, from starting in at that 190 to getting down to that 160. Again, we go out even further. Little ebb and a peak for gaining some muscle here to then come back down even further. Again and again. From all the way out to that 260, all the way back down to 160. Now, this is a very typical weight loss journey for someone. Granted, this is also someone that suffers from binge eating disorder, which is a whole other thing. But weight loss will always ebb and flow and is never a straight shot. We'll take a look at another client who had a pretty crazy transformation, went down a little over, I think we got him down a full 30 and change. Yeah, it was like 30, 34, 35 pounds, thereabouts. Going from September the 16th to, I think we got him at his peak at December the 13th. So almost in a calendar year going down there. But you can kind of see there's so many different little ebbs and flows of ups and downs, to then come back up to do a muscle gaining phase, to then come back down again, and then again into a muscle gaining phase. And each time you're kind of seeing the weight come down. But this is all to say that your weight will fluctuate very often. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It is a natural part of what weight loss is. And it's why we coach you guys to not look at each individual weigh-in like it matters. or 2 or 3 weigh-ins like they matter. It's to look at it from a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And the more you zoom out, the better picture you get about how your journey's actually going. Now, try to keep a bigger mindset with it and thinking more in scale big in terms of what you're doing. Because if you get bogged down by the daily weigh-ins, each individual one, it'll cause so much more stress, so much more anxiety than what you need to have it be. Because weight loss is not meant to be something so stressful. It only gets stressful when we start putting unnecessary amounts of pressure on ourselves, when we're trying to interpret things that we can't interpret because we're looking too close at the problem and we just need to zoom back out. But I hope you guys found this helpful. If there's any topics you guys want to see me kind of dive into, and just, again, I'm giving a very raw answer to a lot of these things, because I feel that's how people typically get learning. But if there's any questions that you guys have, want me to go deeper on any of these sides, or something that you want me to touch on, ask, and we'll cover it in the next one. But every week, we'll be popping one of these guys out. I want to say every Monday or Tuesday, but let's start with every week, and we'll work our way out from there. But I love you guys. I'll catch you guys here in the next one.